Hi guys. I guess I'll start by apologizing because I did promise that I would show the chat in my future video, and I tried it for a video or two, and I pretty much hate it. I hate the frame it gives me. I'm not sure how to properly explain it, but I find it too distracting somehow. So I'm going to stick to playing full screen. So sorry guys for breaking my promise. I guess you're going to be able to tell me liar liar pants on fire if you ever see me. So sorry about that. So I figured I could do a video about it's not the first character I made, but it's one of the earliest ones. It's pretty much what was my main for the first year I played DC Universe Online. I had it's not the first character I created. I had created a Batman character, sort of like a Batman character of the Great White North. I called him pretty much almost that. It was like the Bat from the North or something like that. I had called it. Essentially it was a white Batman, and not in the sense of a Moon Knight, but literally a white Batman. But I pretty much hated the character, so I deleted it. Then I created another character that I called the Rune Wraith. Essentially, it was a gadget acrobat with dual swords. It was that simple. Or I'm not sure if it was gadget. It may have been sorcery. Anyway, either way, I did not like that character much. Yeah, I think it was sorcery. Essentially, it felt like I was playing a Dungeon and Dragon rogue, like a D&D rogue. And I don't know, I pretty much hated it. So I think the Phantom was like my third character that I created. I had a hard time finding a proper name, and ended up using essentially the the French version of the Phantom, which is Le Fantôme. So I sort of regretted it sometimes because people would essentially the le part of the name gives people a lot of problems. Anyways, so today I'm going to do a few things with this character. The first thing is let's start with doing the vault, and I'll talk some more about why I created that character. So essentially, with the options we had at character creation, I could not help but feel that there was a lot of weapons. Uh, I understand that they were trying to cover the various weapons that various characters have been using through the years, but the majority of the comic book characters or superhero characters don't really use weapons. Like a lot of them use brawling or such thing. Like Spider-Man doesn't use weapons. Yes, he has his web shooter, but they're not really a weapon. And there's no such well, their grappling hook, I guess, or their taser pole could probably be used as to mimic the web shooters of Spider-Man. The Hulk doesn't use well, usually it doesn't use weapons unless, of course, it's something like Planet Hulk. Batman uses various weapons like batarangs and stuff like that. So yeah, okay. But essentially, I felt like it turned. At first, I thought it turned all the characters into the Punisher, sort of. And I figured, well, if I'm going to have a character using guns, which character which character could I use? Of course, I wasn't. I didn't quite understand how the hand blasters worked at the time, and I'm not even sure if I had tried them. I know I didn't want to go brawling. The martial art I had tried with my white Batman, and it felt wrong somehow, I wasn't used to it. I guess is the thing. So essentially, as I started wondering, okay, looking at the weapon selections, which character would fit with one of those weapons? And then I thought of the Phantom. The Phantom could be cool using dual pistols. So I ended up using the Phantom. So the Phantom pretty much was my first main character. And at first, I didn't really plan on doing other characters. I figured just doing playing the one character and building him up and grinding. Of course, there's the eternal grind that we find in many games. So at first, that felt like one character was enough. But then at some point, I was pretty much convinced to at least make one villain character as well. And of course, and then I had some friends who started playing on PC, so I created one character on PC, and that's pretty much how it got started. And then when a new power would come out, I would create a new character just to test out the new power, and then I would reach maybe level 30 with that character, and then I would delete it. So, but the Phantom is pretty much the character that I kept very much since the beginning. Although there is a Saturn Knight character that I created later on that I kept for a long while. Well, that I still have up to this day. And there's probably one or two other characters from way back when that I may still have. But a lot of the characters that I created were created around the time of Origin Crisis. And then essentially I had like maybe six characters when Origin Crisis was released, and then it exploded, and I quickly had 20 characters, 30 characters, and I have about up to I have about 45 characters as I'm recording this. And it's not that I play all that much, although lately I've been playing a lot more than usual. Uh, but it's not that I play that much, and especially there are times when work gets so crazy that there's like a 6 months gap when I practically didn't play. There's a 6 month period where I turned on my PS3, I don't know, 5 times during all that time. Hi there, thanks for joining us. Sorry I don't have the chat enabled. I know I promised I would have it in my future videos, but I tried it once or twice and it did bother me somehow, so I decided to go back to being full screen. So sorry about that. If you wanted to leave a comment or something, I'm not seeing the chat right now. Sorry about that. So essentially, I did a video with my Magneto character where I explained the weapon mastery and the hand blasters. I will do this. I will do pretty much the same thing, but using this time with the dual pistols. One of the things that I really enjoy about the dual pistols is being able to go full auto like that. And also being able to fire in two directions at once like this. That's really cool. And it allows you to attack multiple targets in multiple directions at the same time. So I thought it was really cool when I first tried that. So I should have done that first. I will add the respect station because I'm going to need to respect a couple of times to try and show various things. So I'll remove the mailbox. There we go. That's that's one of the drawbacks, or that's one of the things that I really don't like about. Oh yeah, I can't. That's one of the things that I really don't like about the layers is that you're limited in the amount of amenities that you can install. Like you can purchase I don't know, 9 amenities I think total, but you can only have four. No, I have six in your base. Hi there. Sorry, I don't have the chat enabled. I know I was supposed to have it, but decided against it. So right now I'm doing a video about the dual pistols. And I'll probably also talk about weapon mastery a bit. Oh, and I have 7 skill points. So let's start with essentially with the dual pistols. You can see that the weapon masteries of dual pistols are dual wield and hand blasters. Not sure about end blasters. It seems wrong or weird to me. I would have seen maybe something like the bow or. But anyways, it is what it is. So as I mentioned, the first thing that's really cool about the dual pistols, that's the full auto. It's multi-useful in the sense that you can it allows you to detect hidden enemies if it makes any sense. There is an ability and the iconic wrong one. There is an ability in the iconic powers that technically is supposed to be able is supposed to allow you to detect hidden enemies. Like essentially, you have this power called X-ray vision, and it increases your chances of detecting nearby concealed enemies. It gives you +5 perception. I have no idea if it's is it a lot, is it not? We have no idea how perception actually works in the game, or if there is such information, I don't know it. And I've been playing for 4 years, so sadly, I'm still clueless about how the whole perception thing works. I just know that sometimes I'll be able to spot hidden enemies, or sometimes when I'm in stealth mode, hidden enemies will be able to spot me. So I'm not sure if it's related to the level. And there used to be um, skills that would increase your stealth, but they pretty much took those away at some point. Or well, they didn't take the skills away, but they took away the parts about the stealth. So essentially, the first combo we have with dual pistol is, of course, as usual, there's the hold the square and hold the triangle. All the weapons have that. So if we hold the square, this is what happens, which is pretty neat. And also, it allows you to jump towards your target pretty quick. So if you want to move forward very very quick, you just go like this, and I'll do the trick. Also, this is your interrupt. So if you want to interrupt someone who's using an ability that you can interrupt, you, that's what you use. And of course, the triangle is the full auto. In the past, you could go full auto, and as you can see, the full auto is the block breaker. And in the past, as long as you would go full auto, as soon as an enemy would try to block, you would block break it. Sadly, nowadays you only block break when you start using the ability, but then afterwards you no longer block break, but you can still get interrupted. So that's the unfair part, I guess, because being able to go full auto and essentially block breaking anything that would try to block was one of the few things that made dual pistols really worth it. But sadly, they removed that, but they didn't remove the interrupt window. So as you go full auto, you can and you will be interrupted, sadly, by various character, or various NPCs or various players. So that was the first combos that you have. A lot of combos are similar from weapon to weapon. So the second weapon and won't be so self-evident, but the more you know multiple weapons, and the more you'll get familiar with the various type of attacks, and the more you'll get to understand all the weapons. So the second combo is the tap hold. So let's try that. Tap hold. So as you can see, it allows you to roll back as you're firing. Hi there, thanks for joining us. I'm sorry I don't have the chat enabled. I promised, I had said in a previous video that I would have it. I tried it and it really bothered me, so I'm sorry I won't have the chat. So essentially, that's the that combo. Uh, I will go through all the combos first, and then I will show how they can be used to give mobility to your character. So the second combo is the tap hold combo. So we tap the triangle once and hold the square button. So tap, hold. So as you see, it makes your character jump forward as he's firing with his guns. So it's a pretty neat. So essentially, you can go like this all day. It does give some mobility to your character that some of the other weapons don't have. So let's try another one. So the tap and two hold. So tap, hold, hold. Hi guys, thanks for joining us. Sorry if I don't have the chat enabled. I tried it before and it, it bothered me a bit. It was too distracting, so I decided to go against it. Sorry about that. So I want if you guys leave a comment, I won't really see it, or I'll see it when I end the videos. Sorry about that, guys. So again, you roll backward, and as you're done rolling, you have this motion with the guns that we can't really see it right now, but it will essentially fire at pretty much all the targets that are in front of you up to a certain distance. So again, it's part of the mobility that your character can have. Oh, sorry. Come on. And then we have the two tap on the square and then hold the square, which does what is known as the sweep shot. So essentially you're giving two blows. You're giving two blows with your guns, and then you're firing all around you. So it's usually pretty good when you're completely surrounded by enemies. So it does give you a bit of an area of effect attack, which well, yeah, I was about to, which you don't have, I was about to say which you don't have much of, but actually with the full auto, you pretty much have all the area of effect you need. And then the other attack is tap the square, hold the square. So let's try that. Tap the square and hold it. So essentially what that does, I'm not sure if it'll do it with the training dummy. Sometimes it doesn't seem to do it. Yeah. So that second attack usually will project the enemy in the air. So essentially you're hitting the bad guy with your guns. You're pistol whipping him, and it usually does the trick. And the last one is we tap the square and hold it twice. So essentially, it's like it pretty much starts like the other combo, but you had one more move. And again, as you fire, you will often propel the enemy up in the air. So it's pretty neat ability to have. So one of the good things about the dual pistols is as I mentioned before, the mobility. There's many ways to do that. Like you can either just move around as you're firing shot by shot, or you can move back, move forward, move forward as you need to. And if you want to remain moved back, you can go like this. That's the weapon mastery. We didn't talk about it yet, but I'll get to it soon. So the nice thing about the various combos of the dual pistol character is, as you can see, the mobility. You can move back, move forward, move around. It's pretty good for that. So it does help you not to stay in one spot and be an easy target for the enemies. So the only thing is that it's not the pistols aren't that powerful somehow. They don't do all that much damage, especially in melee when you hit with the guns. It rarely does. Oh yeah, there's the kick. So as you saw, there's this sort of kick that you can give to the enemies. So, but in melee, you don't do all that much damage, so you don't really want to do go into melee. And as I mentioned, the combos, the weapon mastery combos you have are with dual wield and with the end blasters. So we'll start with the dual wield. So essentially, we have to do one tap, three hold. So let's do that. One tap, hold, hold, hold. So as you saw, you essentially jump forward. Oh, and that's usually a pretty good attack. And that's the other one. So essentially, you go. Let's try again. Essentially, you go two tap, one, oh, two tap, one hold, and one hold. And that spinning attack again that's pretty good too if you're surrounded by various enemies. So that was it for the dual wield. So you saw before, essentially that's tap the three hold. So let's try that. Tap, hold, hold, and hold. So that's it seems weird to me. I'm not sure how they explain the someone with two guns suddenly having and blasters. But anyways, and then the other one is so we tap, we hold, and we hold. So tap triangle, hold square, hold triangle. Let's try it again. As you see, it throws a ball of energy. Essentially, it's the same ability that I showed in other videos about the hand blasters. So that pretty much covers all the combos, the weapon combos. Let's see. And of course, like all the weapons, you have the various innate abilities like critical attack percentages, critical healing magnitude, defense, vitalization, dominance, health, power, precision, etc. And you have also the other abilities, the bottom row abilities. So it's pretty much the same with all the weapons. And again, if you want to have the dual wield uh, weapon mastery combos, well, you have little choice, but you have to go and put 20 points in dual wield, and then you buy the dual wield mastery, and then you can go and buy the dual wield combos. And the same with end blasters. Again, you go and put 20 points in end blasters, and then get the end blasters mastery, and then you can you can do what you want with the end blaster. You can do the end blasters combo weapon masteries. So let's as you see, I have four armories with this character. Uh, as a rule of thumb, I'll have three, four armories per character, depending on the character. Although some characters have only two armories, and a few of those have only one armory. It's pretty much a case by case basis. Ideally, I want to have four armories so that I have, let's say, one DPS armory, one controller armory, one DPS arena armory, and one DPS open world armory. I could probably add a controller open world armory, but if I want that, I'll just use the controller armory, and that'll be it. I want to have my PvP gear if I do, but uh, it's it's no big deal. And essentially, to differentiate my different armories, you can see that I have the traditional purple suit of the ghost who walks, but I also have the red suit which was used in Europe. Essentially, in America, the ghost when they started coloring the character in America, they colored them purple. In Europe, especially France, they colored them red. And originally they were supposed to color him green, but then if they realized that green on green, because the logic was, well, the guy is in the jungle, so obviously he's going to want to be green to be able to camouflage himself in the background, to camouflage himself in the forest. Sadly, they did such a good job at camouflaging him that you couldn't see him on the panels. On most panels, you would lose him in the panel. So they asked themselves, okay, which color would contrast the most with green, so that the character can stand out and pop out of the panel. And in the States, they made him they tried purple, and in Europe they tried red. And then later down the line, it was decided that it would actually be purple. So they purple became the official colors for the Phantom. So we're going to assign the points that I have left. Well, let's see. Okay, so I'll get started. I'll get started down here. Essentially, I'm taking. I'm only taking 20 points in weapons that I want to take the weapon mastery in at this point. Any other weapon skill, weapon tree, I'll just take the four ones that give us innate abilities like +5 restorations or +24 health, and then I'll just take and so I'll take just four of them of those, just enough so that I can take them the first row and start adding points there. So let's go with this one here. So I'll put 3 points here. And let's imprint that. So let's try the other one, the DPS. For the DPS, I'll go. Oh, some of the points are already assigned. Okay. So let's try the DPS. So that's the look I have in the open world. If I want to wear my PvP gear, okay, and I'm good to go. And the other one is the arena one. and I'm good to go. Why black for the arena? Just because it will make it a bit harder to see in stealth, even assuming that someone can see me. Although even in red, it still would be fairly difficult. I'll just show you. And now we wait for the cooldown for stealth to end. There we go. So I guess with the black, I'm trying to make it so that I can camouflage myself a bit better in PvP if I need to. I don't really need to most of the time. There's maybe one map or two where that's actually useful. But well, for those map, it is useful. So right now we only have access to missions up to what's our combat rating again? So we have access to mission up to tier 5. We're 6 combat rating shy of tier 6. So let's go do a few missions, and I'll show you how the weapon combos work.
Each of Trigon's sons seek to be the one to free their father.
Jared, Trigon's little bastard in charge of Rad.
Jacob, one of Trigon's sons, is collecting lust energy.
Wonder Woman herself will give you a shout.
Ironically, he's one of my characters who has the most styles. Like just to give an example, like if you look at the chests, like I have 15 pages. I have 15 pages of chest pieces, but as you saw, I only use a very few and very simple ones. And like the chest it's pretty much the same chest on all of them except for one. So sadly, all those different styles are wasted on this character. Although I am looking for a better pair of boots, so and I have a good idea which boots I'll use. I just didn't get lucky enough to get those boots yet. But it's not a big deal right now. It's more than fine. I wish I could get one of the Kryptonian suits from the Fortress of Solitude, because essentially, in order to fake to give no gloves to my character, I have to cheat it and I have to give him. I think it's the wizardry glove that I'm using, and I have to color them skin color. So as you can see, you can move backward and forward with your character, and also you can project you can push back some NPCs, like you saw her fly in the air. Okay, we have to destroy some idols. Let's go here where it's more isolated. And as you go full auto, also even when you go full auto, you also push back most enemies. that was quick. I didn't remember it being that quick before. As you can see, you can sort of juggle the characters as you do your combos. You can sort of throw them in the air, or I'll try to show another example. And this being the Phantom, I gave him various grenades ability and like the also the dart. Oh, wrong one. And also I gave him like the sleeping darts, which is something I could easily imagine the Phantom using. Essentially, I try to follow the theme of the character for various reasons. First, why bother creating the Phantom if you're going to do something that has nothing to do with the Phantom? But also, it helps me resist the temptation of min-maxing characters. Like it's at some point once you start knowing the game, it gets very easy to always end up using the same character, the same powers over and over. Since essentially, that's as you play a game, you quickly figure out the handful of powers that are more powerful than anything else. So it gets very easy by then to end up always using the best powers. So by having to follow a certain guidelines because of the character you're trying to emulate, it forces you to not necessarily use the most powerful powers. Like for example, I've the heat vision ability is not really that powerful in this game, but I have a few characters that forces me to use that ability, which otherwise I would never use. And I guess it's the same with like this forward flip attack. I gave it to some of my characters because I felt like, oh, for an acrobat type character, yeah, well, it makes some kind of sense to have those that ability. But if not for that, I would never use that. I would use any other power but that. Because also the drawback of that forward flip attack is that it does not work with the battle display. So the only real purpose for that is when I get knocked down, then yes, I do have an ability that I can use.
Jacob's vanity will ultimately lead to his downfall. Shutting down that factory will teach him some humility.
So this allows me to break out, and also it works fine for an acrobat type character. It would probably fit more with a Daredevil than the Phantom. Um, I'm sure if we did some research, we'll probably find one panel of the Phantom where he does something not unlike this. And the same with the look of the characters, I guess. With all the different styles, it's very easy to end up with something that's very generic, I guess. I've seen a lot of people make what they label original character, and way too often those character look generic and look the same as a truckload of other supposedly original characters. So in the end, they all end up looking generic, and they often end up looking the same. So ironically, the often the characters that stand out the most in the crowd are those based on already existing characters. Like when you see a spawn in the group, you know that holy, you notice him more. You know, holy crap, that's a spawn. Or if you see a Batman, again, you notice it more. But if you see generic character number 2053, no, it gets like lost in the crowd. So also you usually the best option is to go into the location menu of the journal. Otherwise, you end up looking for the quests over and over. So as you saw, like the Jacob quest was already tagged, and now I switched it to the NV to die for. The NV quest is the one we're doing in this area. So we have two, and you can see that the stealth of my Phantom is much better than the stealth of my Wolverine. So I'm not sure if it has to do with the combat rating or if there's another factor that I'm not thinking of. So let's pick up the ball and put it there. So essentially here we have to take the ball away from those tortured citizens, and we have to bring the ball to that sort of bowl thingy. Okay, and now the hemp is looking for trouble. There we go. So we have to bring the ball to the bowl, so to speak. The one thing with the dual pistol is that it's very easy to get carried away with the auto rifle, auto pistol, auto. I'm sure I'll say it at some point. With the full auto attack, when you go full auto, sadly you will pretty much attract everything in a 10-mile radius. So it's very easy with the pistols to end up fighting a dozen of enemies if you're not careful. So when you're in an open area like this and there's lots of enemies and you're trying not to pull every enemies, then the best option is to lock on a target and to just go shot by shot, so to speak. And as usual, the yellow arrow tells you where to go. And as you can see, I did go too close to these guys. But a little burst of full auto solved the problem. But in a place like Central City, you have to be extra careful. And here, the enemies aren't too aggressive, I guess. Not the right word, but let's settle for that. But in Central City, it's way easier to attract a lot of mobs, and they're very ferocious. They hit like a truck, and you don't each hit pretty hard, and if you attract too many of them, you will be in trouble. So here we have these little fellas that we have to stop their rituals. So let's juggle them a bit. So I guess one of the good thing, you don't do quite as much damage as everyone else with the dual pistols, but you have some juggling abilities that others don't really have or don't have as much of. And also a little tip: when you click on the little portal here, just wait a bit. Sometimes there's a demon that rises from the ground. And there's a feat for defeating X amount of that demon. I think it's 14 or 19. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I did that. So again, so once you defeat the guys, you have to click on the, you have a certain amount of time to click on the portal. Then there we go. And no demon coming out of the ground. So let's try again. As always, there's a random number generator. Sometimes you'll close one or two portal and you'll get a demon, and sometimes you'll close a dozen of them and won't get the demon. I remember there's one time when I spent way too much time trying to farm those demons, and holy crap, they wouldn't come. So at some point I said, ah, darn it, let's forget that. And then the next time, pretty much every portal would give me the demon. So that day when I felt lucky, I kept on going, and fair enough, I finally got the defeat. So okay, no demon again. So you saw 4 attempt, no demon. It's okay, it happens. So let's summon our sidekick. I wasn't sure what to use. The Phantom doesn't really have a sidekick, although at some point there is his daughter, I think, that sort of acts as his sidekick. So you can see the various effect of the combos. And I have to get out of here. I got really lucky. Usually the fire can be really nasty. The worst is if I end up fighting in the arena. Yeah, that's one of the tougher fights in this place. And let's go see Fields of Wrath. So let's go there. So as you saw, since I did set up my journal by location, I quickly was able to find the next quest in my journal, as opposed to if I had to go through the whole thing, like every quest in alphabetical order or something like that. It took me a while to figure that out. At first, I would do the silly thing of just going through my every quest in my journal in alphabetical order and look for the next quest. And then at some point, I figured out that you could actually look at the various locations and then see all the missions in that location, and it makes it like in here it makes it so much easier because that's sometimes you don't remember exactly what the name of the quest is. In some cases it's very easy, like in here there's like wrath or envy or lust in the name, although there is one instance where there's no such word. So sometimes when I would get that mission, I would be like, okay, well, what mission is that again, and where is it?
Most of these people have been pushed past the point of being reasonable
Oh, and lucky me, I got the arena.
and keep our allies busy
Oh
until they're
well.
exhausted. Once their wrath energy has been spent, find them for their own safety. The Sentinels will make sure they're returned home.
So as you may see, moving around using the pistol is pretty easy, pretty simple. Some of the weapon combos, the weapon masteries are a bit difficult to pull off. Some they'll take more practice than others, but at some point you get the hang of it.
The Sentinels will get them home safely. But I have an even greater task for you.
But that's the one weapon pretty much where I have the tendency to
Gaining power from
pretty much go with the
find one of those champions.
the regular combos. And as you can see, like when you're in the crowd, like here, if you go full auto and switch to the target you want, it can be pretty neat. So there we go. So for this one, we'll call the Tombot and the Sidekick. I'm not sure why it takes a while sometimes for the champion to appear. And you may notice I don't have a supercharge. Essentially, the supercharge I did put it up on the loadout for my stealth loadout. Essentially, as you can see, I got blocked, and now you keep on going. The fire that this guy pulls throws off, it's pretty nasty stuff. So you don't want to remain in there. I'm surprised that my sidekick is still alive, but he probably did a good job healing himself, or the Tombot.
Under extreme conditions, you continue
Ah,
to
there
do a
we go.
good job. But there's still more to do. Come see me when you're ready.
So now that we're done, we're going to go see our friend Wonder Woman. And there we
Thank you
go.
again for your help.
I did unlock one of the bosses from one of the duos.
It's time to face off against Jacob. He's begun a ritual inside the Tunnel of Lust to invoke the power of desire. The entrance to the tunnel has been blocked, so find another way. Keep your eyes open. Julius, the embodiment of gluttony, has an interest in the decadence of Amusement Mile.
Before I leave, I'll end with a little bit that may seem silly, but I've seen a lot of people who are clueless about how the chat actually works. Sadly, I can only explain it from the perspective of the PS4 player, or on the perspective of someone who plays with a controller, because even on PC, I use a controller somehow. So for the chat, in order to be able to use the chat, you have to press the select button, and then you can change a channel using the square button. Like you see, you can go from versus to looking for group to message of the day. And you can also resize the chat. So if you hold the triangle button and then you move the left joystick, you can open and extend the chat as you wish. And once you're ready to write your whatever message you want to write, then you press the X, and the X will essentially open up the keyboard, the virtual keyboard. So then you write whatever you want, and you say done. And you don't see what I wrote because I did not enable the versus chat. So let's try it again. Let's just go say. So again, the X, the chat box appears, and then you can see. And also, as long as you have the chat box selected, then you can switch from one tab to the next very easily with R1 or L1. And for the voice channel, well, it's R2 and L2. Sadly, I have only one tab, so I can't really show you. I know it may seem silly, but I've seen way too many people who could not use the chat box. There was this one guy once who had funny story. I would write him a message in the chat box, and then he would reply to me using either he would send me a mail within the game. So he would write me using the mailbox the mailbox in the game, or even better, he would send me an email. So I would be playing, I would send him a tell, and then I would get a message. Oh, I got a new email, and I would check, and it was him replying to the message I sent him because he just and even trying to explain to him how the chat worked, it didn't seem to work because also I couldn't be there with him to show him like because essentially right now you can see all the tabs are changing, but that's the kind of thing I couldn't show him as I was explaining it to him. So it was a funny moment, but it's something that I see happening way too often. I understand that there are lots of players that aren't used to using a chat box. It's okay. I don't expect everyone to be able to, but it's kind of important sometimes for people to be able to read and reply within the chat box. So I hope this was a bit helpful, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you ever want to see what you missed, I'm usually posting my videos on YouTube. So give it an hour or two, and this video will be on YouTube too. So thanks, guys, and have a good day. Bye bye.